In 1485, a new royal family arrived on the scene in England, bringing with them an era of incredible transformation. This was the dawn of the Tudor Dynasty. After the long and bitter Wars of the Roses, the nation was exhausted and yearned for peace and stability. Over the next 118 years, five remarkable monarchs would take the throne: Henry VII, his son Henry VIII, and then his three children, Edward VI, Mary I, and Elizabeth I. Together, they steered England through a period of seismic change, from religious reformation and daring exploration to a flourishing of arts and culture. This is the story of how the Tudor age took a divided medieval kingdom and forged it into a confident modern nation, setting the stage for its future as a global power. Our story begins with the man who picked up the pieces, Henry VII, ascending to the throne after the decisive Battle of Bosworth Field. Henry E's first and most crucial task was to end the decades of civil war between the houses of Lancaster and York. His solution was both brilliant and symbolic. He, a Lancastrian, married Elizabeth of York, uniting the rival red and white roses into the new Tudor rose. This marriage wasn't just a political alliance. It was a powerful symbol of national healing. With peace secured, Henry VII proved to be a shrewd and methodical ruler. He was all about stability. He refilled the royal treasury, which had been drained by years of conflict, by introducing efficient taxation and cracking down on corruption. He strengthened the justice system, making sure the king's law was respected throughout the land. He also understood the importance of a strong economy, encouraging trade and building up England's merchant fleet. Henry VII wasn't a flashy king, but his careful, pragmatic leadership laid the strong and stable foundation upon which the rest of the Tudor dynasty would build. He gave England the peace and prosperity it so desperately needed. Next came a king who was the polar opposite of his cautious father, the larger-than-life Henry VIII. When he took the throne in 1509, he was young, handsome, and bursting with energy. A true Renaissance prince, he was skilled in music, sports, and intellectual debate. Henry's court became a glittering center of European culture and power, but his reign would be defined by one overwhelming obsession: his desperate desire for a male heir to secure the Tudor succession. This personal quest would have earth-shattering consequences for the entire nation, when his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, failed to produce a son. Henry sought an annulment from the Pope. The Pope refused. In a move of staggering audacity, Henry broke with the Roman Catholic Church, declared himself the supreme head of the Church of England, and married Anne Boleyn. This act of defiance, known as the English Reformation, forever changed the country's religious and political landscape. But Henry's impact went beyond religion. He invested heavily in the Royal Navy, building powerful warships that would become the backbone of England's future maritime strength. He was also a great builder, commissioning magnificent palaces like Hampton Court. His reign, though turbulent and often brutal, was a period of immense innovation and transition, pushing England firmly into a new era. After Henry's death, the crown passed to his only son, Edward VI. Just 9 years old when he became king. Edward was a bright and deeply religious boy, raised as a devout Protestant. Because of his young age, the kingdom was governed by a council of regents, led first by his uncle, the Duke of Somerset, and later by the Duke of Northumberland. Under their guidance, England plunged deeper into Protestant reform. The colorful rituals of the Catholic Church were replaced with simpler services, conducted in English. Instead of Latin, the Book of Common Prayer was introduced, standardizing Protestant worship across the country and becoming a cornerstone of the Anglican faith. Edward's reign also saw an emphasis on education, with the founding of new schools to promote literacy and Protestant teachings. Though his time on the throne was tragically short, he died at the age of just 15. Edward VI's commitment to the Protestant cause left a lasting imprint. The reforms enacted during his reign solidified The Church of England eased identity and set the stage for the religious conflicts and compromises that would follow. Following Edward's brief reign, the throne took another dramatic turn with the accession of Mary I, the daughter of Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. A staunch Catholic, Mary was determined to reverse the Protestant reforms of her father and brother and return England to the Roman Catholic faith. Her primary goal was to restore what she saw as the true religion and bring spiritual unity back to her kingdom. As the first woman to rule England in her own right, she faced immense challenges in a world dominated by men. Her reign is often remembered for the religious persecutions that earned her the grim nickname Bloody Mary, as hundreds of Protestants who refused to renounce their faith were executed. Yet it is also important to see her actions from her perspective. She genuinely believed she was saving her people's souls and acting in the best interests of her country. Despite the turmoil, Mary's reign was significant. Her marriage to Philip II of Spain, though unpopular, tied England to the most powerful empire in Europe. Mary I stands as a complex and tragic figure, a queen who ruled with conviction and courage according to her deeply held beliefs. The final and longest reigning Tudor monarch was Elizabeth I, the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Her 45-year reign is often celebrated as a golden age for England. Ascending the throne after the religious turmoil of her siblings' reigns, Elizabeth showed remarkable political skill and wisdom. She navigated the dangerous waters of religion with her middle way, a religious settlement that combined elements of Protestantism and Catholicism to create a Church of England that most of her subjects could accept. This brought a much-needed period of domestic peace and unity. Under her steady leadership, England grew in confidence and ambition. It was an age of exploration, as daring seafarers like Sir Francis Drake circumnavigated the globe and Sir Walter Raleigh attempted to establish colonies in the New World. At home, culture blossomed, theaters thrived, and the world was gifted the extraordinary plays of William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe, whose works elevated the English language to new heights. Elizabeth, the Virgin Queen, never married, dedicating her life to her country. She defeated the Spanish Armada, a moment of national triumph that secured England's independence and Protestant future. Her reign transformed England into a proud, prosperous, and culturally rich nation, ready to take its place on the world stage. And so the Tudor era came to a close, from Henry V's restoration of order to Elizabeth I's golden age. This remarkable dynasty guided England through one of the most transformative periods in its history. They navigated religious revolution, sponsored voyages to unknown lands, and nurtured an artistic renaissance that still captivates us today. Their legacy in law, religion, art, and national identity is woven into the very fabric of modern Britain. When Elizabeth I died in 1603 without an heir, the crown passed peacefully to her cousin, James VI of Scotland, who became James I of England. This moment united the crowns of England and Scotland, opening a new chapter in the nation's history. In our next episode, we will explore this new era, the Age of the Stuarts, a time of profound scientific discovery, philosophical debate, and dramatic political change that would reshape Britain and the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the past, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories from history.